Hello there and welcome to UBC News Tonight this Monday, the 29th day of April 2024. On sign language, it is Elizabeth Nakakuni and I am Rukidi Kiijanangoma, and we are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. President Yoweri Museveni departed Uganda this morning to participate in the World Bank's International Development Association (IDA) for Africa Heads of State Summit held in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi. During the summit, President Museveni delivered insightful remarks emphasizing the importance of socio-economic transformation and the need for loans that propel prosperity. The president was pleased to hear the World Bank president, who gave a speech during the summit discussing prosperity as a goal rather than profiteering. Take a watch.
Some remarks. You're welcome, Your Excellency.
The crisis which is in Africa today is because of philosophical, ideological, strategic, economic mistakes, which we have been talking about since the 1960s. This is not an accident. When you see the crisis in many of the African countries, the collapse of states, we predicted this in the 1960s. Philosophical, ideological, strategic mistakes. I don't have time to amplify each one. But I was very happy to hear the president of the World Bank talking about prosperity instead of profiteering. These were his own words. That's what I picked. This has been the problem. Aid has been for profiteering. This has been the problem. Now, the World Bank people and other groups have been talking of sustainable development. Even in your documents, I have seen those words there. Sustainable development. I am now going to be 80 years old. I have never seen sustainable pregnancy. But at some stage, quantitative growth must be transformed into qualitative change. The pregnancy must become a baby. If the pregnancy remains pregnancy, the fetus will die. So therefore, I would even ask you to change those words in your documents. Africa does not need sustainable what? You could call it sustainable underdevelopment. Africa needs socio-economic transformation. The pregnancy must become a baby. The baby must grow and become a teenager. The teenager must grow. That's what happens in life. You cannot have quantitative growth and you think you are doing anything. The main reason why there is no growth is because the growth factors are not funded. They are not even understood. What are the growth factors? We now talk of private sector-led growth. The governor writes to me, reports, we have got import cover for so many months. But I don't want to import. I want to export. Why don't you tell me about import substitution and export promotion? Instead, you are telling me of import support. So money is available for to become more dependent. So I'm very glad to hear what now, finally, the cash, which we told our people about in the 1960s, we told them, part of the wars we fought in Uganda were to get rid of the neo-colonial groups which were there, which were stopping us from thinking. We had to get rid of them by force. But one of the problems was Africa producing raw materials, matière primaire. They call it in Français, matière primaire. Raw materials. Imagine coffee. The global value of coffee is $460 billion. All the coffee producing countries of the world, Brazil, us, all these, we only get 25 billion of that.
Africa is poised to transform its agriculture, water security, and energy access while creating job opportunities for over 4 million youths entering the job market monthly and expanding our small and medium enterprises as well. Central to these opportunities is our commitment to African-led initiatives. We aim to control our destiny, managing our resources responsibly and sustainably to drive Africa's industrialization agenda using our abundant energy, mineral, and human capital resources. Our commitment to transparency and accountability is in our socio-economic development plans, ensuring the efficient and effective use of IDA is central to our plan. We acknowledge the vital role of diverse stakeholders beyond governments and traditional donors committing to deeper and broader engagement to enrich our development outcomes. We are committed to empower the Africa Union Commission to make it fit for purpose with capacity to engage the rest of the world on behalf of Africa. We are committed to reform the Pan-African Parliament to enhance oversight and accountability over the Commission and establish an African Court of Justice so that we are ready to engage with the rest of the world. We, as African heads of state and government, commit to play our part by taking deliberate and robust actions to improve fiscal discipline, increase domestic revenue mobilization, develop investor-friendly policies, and enhance anti-corruption measures. IDA exemplifies the best of global cooperation, characterized by compassion, lasting dedication, and a fruitful collaboration. By fortifying IDA, we do more than just honor these values. We significantly enhance our joint ability to tackle global challenges. Let us value and expand the reach and influence of this vital resource. Together, let us be bold, let us be ambitious, and let us act with conviction.
Presidents Yoweri Museveni of Uganda and William Ruto of Kenya having their remarks there at the World Bank's IDA Africa Heads of State Summit that took place earlier today in Nairobi, Kenya. Now, President Yoweri Museveni has returned to Uganda after, of course, attending the World Bank's International Development Association IDA Africa Heads of State Summit in Nairobi, Kenya. On arrival at Entebbe International Airport, the President, as you see on your screen there, was received by the Vice President, Her Excellency Jessica Alupo, the Head of Public Service and Secretary to Cabinet, Lucy Nachobe, and serving officers. President Yoweri Museveni has commended the Chief of Defence Forces, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, for joining the army out of patriotism, a principle that has enabled him to improve the welfare of soldiers. The President noted that careerism, job-seeking and searching for financial benefits in the army are some of the factors that create challenges in African forces. President Museveni made the remarks yesterday at the private birthday party for General Muhoozi, who on the 24th of April 2024 turned 50 years old. Take a watch.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the
Osmosis.
Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock on my shop. The signs and symptoms of success, the bank commander.
The ceremony at State House Entebbe was hosted by the President, the First Lady Janet Museveni, and First family members. Congratulatory messages and greetings were also sent by friends from abroad, and one of them was from Muhoozi's platoon commandant at Standhart Military Academy. The President informed guests that wherever General Muhoozi was deployed, a lot of improvements were realized.
I want to thank Mama because she played a very big role in bringing up these children. When I was away most of the time, I thank her so much. I want to thank Muhoozi because he listened to me when I advised him to join the army. He spent 1 year with his uncle, General Saleh, doing business, but I had told him my own view that whether you want to do business or not, army formation helps you to strengthen your character. It's very good. So you join the army first, and then you can do other things later. So after 1 year, he agreed and he went to Sandhurst, and I'm sure it helped him greatly. And I thank him for listening to my. Now, when he came back, you know, people have been saying Muhoozi. But when he came back, he added value to the army because he was in the army for passion, for patriotism, not for career that is looking, because that's where the African armies have problems. Some people join the army in Africa because they are looking for jobs. Sirina mulimu kangende maje. That's very dangerous, that type of soldier. Others looking for money. Now, Muhoozi was not looking for any of those. He was looking just for the patriotism and excellence of the army. The army should be excellent, should be the best.
The President told his guests, who included General Muhoozi's wife, Charlotte, and the family, and the Brotherhood of UPDF, the reason why families of freedom fighters were created while in exile. He explained that he had earlier encouraged guests to listen to some of the traditional songs played at the function, saying the message in the lyrics is deeply rooted in the culture of wealth creation. The First Lady, Janet Museveni, thanked God for his faithfulness. She noted that Muhoozi grew physically and strong in character with dedication to serve his homeland because he loved and obeyed the Lord.
We all thank God for his faithfulness, who put you, Muhoozi, together with Charlotte and blessed you both with a gift of children, as you very well said. Therefore, today, we are here to clap our hands and shout out a hallelujah to our Lord God, who alone is dependable, whom all good things originate from.
The Chief of Defence Forces, General Muhoozi, thanked the Almighty God for the gift of life. He noted that birthdays are not just about getting older, but they are about cherishing moments and memories.
I want to thank my parents and siblings for their unwavering love and support. Your presence here today means a lot to me, and I am truly blessed to have such incredible people as my family.
And happy birthday, General Muhoozi. Now, Uganda Bureau of Statistics is prepared to commence the census exercise nationwide to capture essential data for planning. According to UBOS officials, the 9th of May has been declared the census night, and the 10th of May is a public holiday for people to remain home to be counted. The 9th of May will serve as a reference night throughout the exercise, and individuals are expected to recall whoever spent a night in their homestead.
The Uganda Bureau of Statistics will begin conducting the 6th Post-Independence National Population and Housing Census on 10th May 2024. The 9th of May 2024 has been gazetted as Census Night, to which all census-related questions will refer. UBOS officials urge the public to remember individuals who spent the night of 9th May 2024 in their households to prevent double counting.
That even when the numerator comes on the 3rd day, the 4th day, the 5th, the 6th, the 10th day, still they will ask you who spent the night in your household on the night of 9th. So as a household head or as a responsible citizen in that household, you are kindly requested to remember.
The exercise will be guided by institutional questionnaires prepared to account for the floating population.
Which is for people who are traveling. They are at the border point, they are at the airport, they are in taxi parks, they are in bus parks. When they find them there, the question is, where did you spend your night on the reference night, on the census night? We have institutional questionnaires, we have household questionnaires, like if they came to my home. Then we have other questionnaires like for the UPDF, the Uganda Police Force, the Uganda Prison Services.
Training for officers leading the exercise has concluded at district level, while training for parish and sub-county supervisors, as well as enumerators who are the field staff and data collectors, will commence on 1st May.
We are sure of the exercise. The government has invested. We have recruited as many enumerators as possible. We have over 120,000 field staff covering the whole country.
To facilitate a technologically driven exercise, at least 120,000 tablets have been procured. Every enumerator is expected to have access to these tablets to ensure quality and timely data collection.
And we will realize that by June, the Bureau will be able to release the preliminary results. By September, we shall have the provisional results. And by December, we shall have the final results. This has never happened before. We used to take a year plus to process data. So the technological advancement is an advantage to the institution.
Enumerators will conduct the exercise from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. with no activities scheduled for the night. UBOS has collaborated with the Uganda Police Force to ensure the protection of government property and the smooth progress of the exercise without inconvenience.
Enumerator, every supervisor will be identified clearly with ident card. The ident card will have the name, the district, the title. Is either an enumerator or a supervisor.
10th May has been declared a public holiday to facilitate the 6th Post-Independence National Population and Housing Census 2024. Ivan Kahwa and Rogers Komagum, UBC News.
The Executive Director, Uganda Communications Commission, Nyombi Tembo, has tasked telecom operators to be transparent on data pricing to regulate customer complaints of data depletion. This is during a town hall meeting with telecom operators and stakeholders to answer the recent question of data depletion. We have more in the following story.
Following public frustrations on social media regarding data usage discrepancies, the Uganda Communications Commission met telecom operators and stakeholders to clarify the customer complaints. On the concern of how data bundles deplete at high speed, telecom operators say it's attributed to many factors, not limited to the speed of the network.
When it comes to your data usage, even while you're sleeping or you're not touching the phone, data continues to run. And how does it run? Let me give you some examples. How do you think, even when you're sleeping, when you sleep with the phone on your bedside and wake up in the morning, when you wake up, you see so many WhatsApp messages that have come to you. Okay, how do you think those messages come?
Over time, the number of Ugandans who are connected to the opportunities of the internet continues to grow. Because since 2019, we made our network 100% 4G. And that means we have created a highway for many Ugandans to get to the opportunities of the internet by using smart devices. But it comes with a challenge. People don't understand, previously they didn't, how we build and where their data usage. And there have been complaints which we have addressed. We've done some videos educating people. We have brought an app, the Airtel My Data Manager app, where Ugandans who are our customers can go and look at their data usage so they make informed decisions. If, for example,
telecom operators also advise internet users to be mindful and shut down open windows if not in use to reduce on data consumption.
Data is not created actually by the telco. Data is created by you. Unless you open TikTok, that data will never get created. Okay, so what basically an operator is doing is giving you a bandwidth. It's like a super highway. Okay, a lot of space for a lot of people to use data, very fast data.
You consume data when you are aware that when you consume more data, you should be able to pay for it. What we want you to avoid is your data to be used when you don't, when it shouldn't have been used. Like having apps which you are not using, they are in the background consuming your data and you don't know. That's what we should teach you about.
The Executive Director, Uganda Communications Commission, Nyombi Tembo, asked telecom operators to specify the products offered to eliminate aspects of being cheated.
The details should be, I think, be put in bold. Is it controversial? The finer details are always put in very, very fine print, but they should put in bold so that people understand what they are buying. Why? Because I've told you the controversy of measurement. Measurement is not only scientific, it's also psychological. So when you are dealing with the people, you are selling them things, you must ensure that scientifically the calibrations are correct. But again, psychologically, you should make sure that you explain to them.
Nyombi says the Commission is assessing a variety of tools from which one will be selected to be used for monitoring of data usage and services offered by the telecom operators. Mary Namkose, Mario Nawar, UBC News.
National Unity Platform, NOP Party President Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert has urged party members to avoid corruption on selected registers, fighting each other within the party and also asked them to be united. He also reminded security forces not to disrupt their membership registration exercise. Kyagulanyi was launching the membership registration and introduction of structures at grassroots level at the party headquarters in Kampala.
Launch the nationwide membership registration drive. People power!
The launch was attended by leaders from various regions. The party president, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, was the first registered member at the inauguration ceremony.
Our voice on the voice as has been echoed by the party leadership. Please, Ugandans, register and ensure you secure party cards.
All the young people out there, as the youth leader, I want you to participate in this activity that has been launched by our dear President, His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu.
He urged members to avoid corruption, especially those who are going to be on ground, avoid fighting each other, and asked them to be united.
I'm very serious. We are not a political party. We just have a political party. We are people power. We are the representation of those masses yearning for change. And we started out as a team of people, the men, the women, the young, the old, the educated, the uneducated, the city dwellers and the rural dwellers, all Ugandans from all walks of life, coming together with a vision.
We do apologize for the bad quality of video in that story there. Now, amidst Uganda's push to merge government agencies, the FDC Kiijanangoma faction is concerned over the recent appointments of assistant RDCs. The Deputy Secretary of Publicity in charge of publications and documentation of the Kiijanangoma faction, Walid Lubega Mulindwa, says this move isn't in harmony since the process of rationalization of government authorities and commissions is to inhibit duplication of work, cut down government expenditure, and improve efficiency per this resolution.
Where the Minister for Public Service, the way he stampeded Parliament, he overlooked such issues, and many entities we feel were not scrutinized under that kind of arrangement that the ad hoc committee had recommended. The FDC party calls for transparency in the rationalization process by ensuring that a critical review of each agency, commission and authority should be made against the criteria stated in the report of the ad hoc committee of Parliament, whereby those bodies that merit retention as standalone units should continue to operate as they are currently doing. Those that fail the criteria should have been merged with the line ministries. As a party, we are concerned of what roles are the new assistant RDCs going to play that the main RDCs and deputies aren't playing, because we feel there is no need. And also, this has further skyrocketed the costs of public administration that stands currently at 7.4 trillion. The huge cost of public administration has over the years soured the appointment of 357 assistant resident commissioners in public service rubs salt into the wound. The new burden to the taxpayer openly balloons the wage bill by the 3 billion shillings annually. The country is already struggling with high levels of youth unemployment.
We'll now take a short break, but there is so much more that's coming after that.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred! $1, my boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the
Osmosis.
Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Over the years, we've dreamed to get onto the world stage. We've had that dream crushed. We've witnessed a total defeat of what could have been our greatest moment. We've felt our spirits go up, only to take a hard fall. We've had our fires burn out and leave only scars. We've seized the wind and had it pulled from our grasp. We've seen pain, and we've seen loss of the last fragments of hope. But we are made of resilience, and resilience never stops dreaming. So, we will dream even bigger with the Cranes Cup Bowl 2026. Together, let's take Uganda to the next FIFA World Cup.
Together, let's take Uganda to the next FIFA World Cup. For every Now Special you buy, we will give 50 shillings to the Uganda Cranes 2026 fund. You will also get the chance to choose how the Cranes Cup Bowl contributions are spent. Now Special, official beer of the FIFA World Cup and official beer partner of the Uganda Cranes.
Alcohol is not for sale to persons under 18. Please drink responsibly.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Now to the courts of law, where Buganda Road Magistrates Court has released TikToker Ibrahim Musana alias Pressure on a cash bail of 2 million Ugandan shillings. Musana is accused of insulting the Kabaka of Buganda, the Speaker of Parliament, and Minister Joyce Nabosa Sebugwawo. In another development, the committal of Choto Rashid alias Njovu to High Court has flopped once again following the prosecution's failure to present to court committal papers.
TikToker Ibrahim Musana alias Pressure 24/7 has appeared at Buganda Road Magistrates Court. The accused, who presented to court two sureties, among them his parents from Budaka, and highlighting to court his fixed place of abode, asked court to be released on bail.
Our land colleague informed the court that the prosecution was ready to start with the case. It had enough evidence which was overwhelming and would immediately start prosecuting the accused person. Your Worship, up to date, we are already informed that investigations are still ongoing, and the 60 days, it is more than 7 days past the 60 days, Your Worship.
This was objected by prosecution, led by Richard Bilvumbuka, asking court for time to verify the accused's resident status and sureties, but Magistrate Nwadikaisi declined and wanted the accused bail.
That will ensure that he appears back in court. Your Worship, these sureties are all sisters to the mother of the accused.
I am of the view that when an accused person has crossed the material period on remand, court can always set bail conditions. It cannot adjourn the case for any other purpose, including verification of sureties, because an accused person can be released on his own cognizance, having been on remand for 60 days without the trial commencing, and I hereby release him on bail on the following conditions. One is pay cash bail of 2 million. Each of his two sureties shall each execute a bond of 20 million, not cash. Is deposit his national identity card in court, and is also given 2 weeks to deposit his passport in this court. Is not to mention the names of His Royal Highness, the Kabaka of Uganda, His Excellency Kaguta Museveni, Right Honorable Anita Among, and Honorable Nabosa Sebugwawo, and any of his social media handles until this case is heard and disposed of with, breach of which his bail will be cancelled.
The case was adjourned to 28th May 2024. TikToker Ibrahim Musana, alias Pressure 24/7, is facing 8 counts of malicious information, hate speech, which are likely to promote hostility against His Majesty the Kabaka of Uganda, Lord Mwena Mutebi II, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, Speaker Aunt Anita Among, and Minister Jibosa Sebugwao, allegedly committed between August 2023 and February 2024 in parts of Mukono and Kampala. Meanwhile, the committee of Chota Rashid, alias Njovu to the International War Crimes Division Court for trial, has flopped following the failure by prosecution to come ready with the committee papers to court. Magistrate Arias Kakoza adjourned the case to the 13th of May 2024 and also issued a production warrant for the accused to be produced in court in the next court sitting. Chota Rashid alias Njovu is accused of murdering a UK couple, Barrow David James and Gea Imatria Cecilia, and their tour guide Aliai Charles in Queen Elizabeth National Park last year. Rebecca Nantongo, Deborah Namamondi, UBC News.
National Union of Disabled Persons of Uganda, NUDIPU, has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Inter-Religious Council of Uganda to enhance inclusion and involvement of persons with disabilities into religious institutions. The Vice Chairperson, National Union of Disabled Persons of Uganda, Robert Sewagude, says the religious circle has a high advantage of advocating for inclusion of persons with disabilities at all levels.
So what we want to see is promoting disability inclusion in all the churches. It is important.
Religious leaders play a significant role in creating inclusive environments, providing counseling and spiritual guidance, which help PWDs to navigate challenges related to disability. Their involvement can also promote inclusion, advocacy for rights, encouraging participation of PWDs in religious activities and community events.
We are left behind in the issues of land. We are voiceless. When the issues go to court, again, it is an added challenge to us on the issues of land. Yeah, for example, there are no sign language interpreters in the courts of law. That makes people with disabilities lose out on their land.
In partnership to bring PWDs on board in religious circles, the National Union of Persons with Disability Uganda has signed a Memorandum of Understanding to create a more inclusive and equitable space for PWDs. In this memorandum, PWDs seek representation in higher positions, especially in the Interreligious Council, and also provision of inclusive services in all religious institutions.
We have some churches specifically for the deaf, like Emmanuel Church of the Deaf, Makerere, but it is only in Kampala here. As deaf people, we need sign language interpreters in church. During all services, the environment to some churches is not accessible, which makes it very difficult for people with physical disabilities to access.
Initially, due to limited awareness, persons with a disability were sometimes not thought of or given attention as special groups. Pastor Samuel Sebagala of the Seventh-day Adventist Church says because of the increase in awareness, they now have several initiatives for persons with disabilities.
We have constructed centers of influence to the people with disabilities to see that they can also do some income-generating activities. As a church, we have come out to see that we can help out in treatment. Some of the disabilities can be solved.
A legal representative at the Interreligious Council of Uganda, John Osapir, says they are yet to present proposals on having leaders inducted on inclusion of PWDs right from theological institutions.
In the past, we've been actually employing persons with disabilities. But as you know, sometimes institutions have different needs, and sometimes you need resources. We need to restructure our policies intentionally to ensure that we achieve mainstreaming of persons with disability.
At least 12.4% of the population aged 5 years and above are living with a disability as per the National Population and Housing Census of 2014. Susan Naung and Andrew Sebira reporting for UBC TV.
The State Minister for Mineral Development in the Ministry of Energy, Fiona Nyamtoro, has received 1,730 mineral samples from Karamoja sub-region in Entebbe. Now, this follows a 3-year airborne geophysical survey that has been going on in the Karamoja sub-region and parts of northern Uganda by the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development through the Directorate of Geological Mines under the Karamoja Aerial Survey Project.
At least over 1,730 mineral samples will be sent to Spain for laboratory analysis to ease geological and geochemical mapping of areas with potential and valuable minerals in Karamoja sub-region. The Acting Commissioner, Geological Surveys and Mapping, Dr. Fred Tuguma, told UBC that there is need to upgrade laboratories in Uganda so as to ease geological work.
The budget for the laboratory has been dismal. Like in this financial itself, we allocated 120 million, which is which is a peanut to the budget. And all the budgets were slashed. That will be allocated within the budget. We hope for the mineral laboratory we will be able to do the analysis in the resources available.
In 2006, the Directorate of Geological Survey and Mines contracted Fugro Airborne Surveys Limited for an airborne geophysical survey to collect geochemical and geology data. The project covered 80% of the country, leaving out Karamoja due to insecurity. In 2020, Uganda received funding from the Spanish government for aerial surveys of Karamoja sub-region. The project coordinator, Karamoja Aerial Surveys in Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, Dr. Isaiah Tumuchirize, says they have merged the whole map for Karamoja to build a database for the minerals in the region. The project has completed Gravity Survey Phase 1 and 2 and the Magnetic and Radiometric Survey Phase 1.
We've also merged the data. Now we have a whole map of Karamoja, magnetics, as those parameters I've talked about, radiometrics, and gravity. So the remaining challenge is also to complete another 80% of gravity, which is now only covering 20% of Karamoja.
The Directorate of Geological Survey and Mines has been working with Saliba, a Spanish company, to collect airborne data from Karamoja and part of Acholi sub-region using aircraft flying at a low altitude. Abiona Francisco, UBC.
Religious leaders in Karamoja and Bugisu sub-regions have been urged to sensitize the people about the forthcoming National Housing and Population Census. Speaking during his visit to Karimojong living in Namatala, Mbale city suburb, Kotido Catholic Bishop Dominic Abu stressed that census is one way that the government is set to know the exact numbers of Ugandans for effective planning.
The Bishop of Kotido Catholic Diocese, Dominic Abu, has urged religious leaders in Karamoja and Bugisu sub-region to encourage communities embrace the forthcoming population census due next month.
Urging the leaders, the religious leaders and cultural leaders to promote awareness about census. I have begun talking about it in my diocese, encouraging the people to give the right information, because I have noticed some of the sufferings we have regarding distribution of national resources and also the budget is because we don't have enough information. Then we cry that we have been cheated, and yet we don't have the correct figure sometimes and correct information to help those in leadership to help us.
Bishop Dominic was speaking during his visit to Karimojong's living in Namtala, Mbale city suburb. He encouraged coexistence between the Bamasaba and Karimojong.
That sense of solidarity, that they are not abandoned out there, but even when they are here, we still have a link with them. My message for them and for the community here, that they should accept one another, above all for them that they should get integrated in the activities of the community here, which I think most of them are doing.
Meanwhile, the Myoga National Coordinator, Rita Namwenge, has underscored the need for residents in Elgon region to plant trees if the region is to curb disasters displacing the locals.
Many sub-counties, both in Blambuli and in Namisindwa, where they are prone and there is a threat of landslides. That is why I'm requesting everyone that please, when you go home, at least plant a tree so that we curb the issues of climate change. We also know that we depend on agriculture, but when you're practicing agriculture, be very careful on protecting buffer zones.
If the bishop can dance, what about you?
To Busia District now, where Busia Resident District Commissioner Michael Kiwika has urged the people of Busia to embrace the national census and registration exercise, saying the government exercise of census is not a pretext to find new people to tax, but to understand our people for proper development and planning. Kiwika said using census data, the government will be able to know the proximity of social service centers like schools and hospitals, but also areas that are underserved in the country. He was speaking as chief guest during ordination ceremony of Bishop Kenneth Tumaine Zeromi of Elim Church in Busia District.
Such that we guide the government to do the rightful planning for us. Whatever services that we need, we must put in money. But before we put in money, we must know who are these people that we plan for, that we plan the expenditure to go to. So that is very critical. So I want to ask the church to embrace this program.
I want to thank God for today. They're elevating me to a level of a reverend. I want to give glory to God because the easy hasn't been easy. We have gone through a lot, but because of patience, we see God has brought us all this far. And one thing I want to thank God is that we have been through a lot, but God has always been there with us. And I want to commit myself that I'm going to serve the Lord more than ever.
Ebiseera by'okuzaayo abaana mu masomero tebiteekwa kukaluubiriza n'akatono. Eno kusimba nnyiriri mpanvu kano kalippagano ka bidduka. Simanya kuzunga na banka siripusi? Kati osobola okusasula school fees z'omwana wo ate n'okola n'ebirala ntoko ku ssimu ye ey'omu ngalo. Ekikola kyangu nnyo. Nyiga bunyizi *185*8 ogoberera ebikulagiriddwa oba okozese app ya MTN Momo. Ate kati okola ki olwaleero? MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited erungamizibwa banka enkulu ya Uganda.
Welcome back. Let's have a look at an item on business. And Ginger RDC Richard Gulume has urged school administrators to adopt practical education under the new curriculum to combat youth unemployment. According to findings from the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, UBOS, 9.3 million youth are not engaged in education, employment or training.
Among these, 41% of Ugandan youth are unemployed due to lack of practical education. The RDC of Ginger Richard Gulume emphasizes that school administrators must prioritize practical training to mitigate youth unemployment. Gulume recently visited Kachira Secondary School, where he presided over the graduation of over 200 students who completed a week-long training in various ideological lessons. He commended Kachira SS for its practical projects, including rabbit farming and albino rat rearing.
And these are the products of the new curriculum. The students of A-level, the biology class, decided to begin rabbit rearing and albino rats. Inside here we have venom of them, many albino rats and very many rabbits, and the students have been encouraged everybody to begin one of these projects at their home. Many of them have picked the skill that out of these rabbits, the students find money and they get even fertilizers. From their urine, we have fertilizers at their home. Possibly today we have had the blessing that we have passed out the students of Patriotism 2024. Those are senior ones and senior fives. Now with Patriotism, we have taught them the skills that you go change. Mainly it is mindset.
Patrick Bamwediwa, the school's head teacher, highlighted that these projects have equipped students with income-generating skills. Each albino rat is priced at 25,000 shillings, while each rabbit costs 30,000 shillings, with their waste being utilized as fertilizer.
And so right from its waste products, the urine is highly profitable because a litre, I think we now sell it at 3,500. So that is some good amount of money from these rabbits. Before even you sell the product of the rabbit itself, so by the time you sell the rabbit itself, you're highly getting the money because their reproduction rate is highly good. So that means in case you sell even though one at 25, if you have 100 at a year, that is some good amount of money. So they are highly beneficial.
The initiative spearheaded by Gulume aims to empower youth with practical skills to enhance their employability and economic independence.
International news now, and we got to neighboring Kenya, where the official reopening of Kenyan schools for the second term has been postponed for a week. Now, this is due to heavy rains that have rendered most roads in Kenya impassable, while properties including homes, schools and businesses have been destroyed. Dennis Tigoa reports.
The Kenyan government has postponed by a week the scheduled schools reopening to May 6th due to the devastating flooding which is being experienced across the country. The Ministry of Education says that they have received data that some schools have been adversely affected by the ongoing flooding, and therefore sending students and staff to the affected schools will be putting their lives at risk. Schools were scheduled to reopen today, Monday, the 29th of April, after a 4 weeks fast term break. Heavy rains have rendered most roads in Kenya impassable, while properties including homes, schools and businesses have been destroyed in several counties. This came as the Meteorological Department warned of heavier rains in the coming days, with over 105 people reported dead so far and scores of others injured or missing. Relatedly, at least 42 people have been killed and dozens of others are missing after a dam burst this morning in Nakuru County, Rift Valley Province, sweeping away homes and vehicles. The incident comes as floods continue to ravage many regions of the East African country.
We've hit refresh with Castle Light. A premium new look. With the shiny silver label. An innovative cold indicator. A premium green neck label for a crisp and easy drinking beer. Fresh new look. Experience the fresh new Castle Light.
Sports news now, and earlier today at Uganda Media Center, Uganda Athletics Federation, in partnership with the Office of the Minister of Education and Sports, welcomed the announcement that the Kampala City Marathon is set for the 1st of December this year. Take a watch.
It is a historic day for Ugandan athletics. Finally, the nation's capital will host its first ever international recognized marathon on 1st December.
The Kampala City Marathon to profile Uganda's socio-cultural and economic endowment. The marathon will also aim to promote the health of the population through engagement in physical activity as a lifestyle to prevent non-communicable diseases. The Kampala City Marathon is a 10-year project to brand Kampala City and Uganda as a preferred tourist destination. the Kampala City Marathon is poised to be one of the top marathon races in Africa that will be key in helping our country attract tens of thousands of visitors to experience the best of Uganda's spirit and hospitality, but will also offer us an opportunity to showcase our stellar long-distance running tradition, of course, celebrate the beauty and diversity that makes Uganda a truly unique country.
Where we strive to be one of the top 15 marathons in the world. That is very ambitious, but that's the path we take in those 10 years. We would also like to be the most prominent marathon in Africa. And also that is a very ambitious goal, both recreational and elite athletes. So we will invite elite athletes from all over the world to participate in the first edition, but we will also, obviously, would like as many recreational runners from the world and from Uganda to participate in this event from the start.
The Kampala City Marathon is aimed at creating an experience for locals and foreigners worldwide. Many will get the chance to embrace Ugandan culture and hospitality.
I'm very happy that we are this time around going to have a recurrent event that is going to run for 10 years. You have heard about the good things that will come with this event. When you have elite athletes, this means that you're having tourists coming to your country. And what does this mean to the people in the tourism sector? It means that your hotels are going to get busy. What does it mean to our airport? It means that we are going to earn visa fees. You're going to get busy. What does it mean for our infrastructure? That we have to make the roads suitable for the marathon. But also, what does it mean for Uganda as a country? It means that Uganda as a country will have an international recognition, and I'm sure that many of us will benefit from this.
On the global stage, Uganda has 6 world records in the marathon category and hopes to improve on that fate. The Kampala Marathon will have its first edition on the 1st of December, with prizes and registration fees yet to be communicated. Marsha Miro Victor, UBC News.
This story brings us to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for having kept us company. My name is Rukidi Kiijanangoma, and I've been assisted on sign language by Elizabeth Nakakuni, and together we say good night to you.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
On Wednesday, the 1st of May 2024, Uganda will join the rest of the world to commemorate the International Labour Day, a day celebrated to recognize the contribution of labor towards the social, economic, and political development of the country. This year's celebrations will be held at Mukabura grounds